Hello everyone, this is not a Parkak, and this time in, Corona time, we have a review not about this book, but I'm going to read something from this book, since we're all at home, kind of. Well, tonight our Prime Minister announced that we should stay at home. It's not a total lockdown, it's an intelligent lockdown. And that means that you have to be intelligent to decide whether you go outside to do some shopping, grocery shopping, or, only for the necessary things. So I'm inside now because it's kind of dark outside, not that interesting because all the cafes and restaurants are all closed. But this book isn't closed at all. We can open it. It's a beautiful book. It's written by, Karen Pym. And this is how the man looks like. And this is the other one we all know. With field notes by Jack Horner, well-renowned paleontologist and technical advisor on the Jurassic Park films. We know that nowadays there is another advisor on the Jurassic World saga. It has been divided into 3 sections: the Triassic period, the Jurassic period, and the Cretaceous period. I must admit I rather call it the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous area, but that's a whole different story. I actually don't want to look at a dinosaur today. I have to find it. Where this other creature is, because officially it's not a dinosaur. I want to take a look at this creature, Sarcosuchus imperator in Latin, or in English, Sarcosuchus. I'd rather say Sarcosuchus imperator. Sounds very cool, and here is the big boy. Well, you don't want to get in between these two, I think. Don't look these creatures in the eye, because you know what's going to happen when you do so. You might wonder, does he not have the Mattel Jurassic World Sarcosuchus? Well, I do. I do have it, and here it is. And I'm not going into a review kind of thing today, because there have been many reviews on the internet of this beautiful Mattel action crocodile. No, technically people say it's not a crocodile, but I don't buy that, because it looks like a crocodile. Every kid will say, well, I want to have that crocodile, and not knowing that it's a Primal Attack Sarcosuchus, because they can't read it. Anyway, I think it's a crocodilian thing, and probably science would agree with me when I say it's a crocodilian, and it lived among the dinosaurs. No wonder. I have a small story about that one. Dinosaurs passing by the riverside might have spotted the very top of its head jutting through the surface, which allowed Sarcosuchus to see and breathe, but the rest of its immense body lay obscured under water until the moment of attack. Then this gargantuan killer lunged out and clammed its prey in its 1.5 meter long jaws, in all likelihood employing the modern crocodilian's method of shaking it wildly and pulling it into the water to drown. Sarcosuchus was 10 times the weight of any crocodile alive today and had a bite force of 8 tons. That is, once its jaws closed. Trying to push them apart again would be like trying to pick up a particularly large killer whale. These jaws enclosed 132 thick, strong teeth that could crunch through bone, and it was discovered in Niger. I don't know how you pronounce that country's name. In 1964, of such teeth, along with some vertebrae and 30 centimeters long armored scutes that provided the first imitation of this truly enormous crocodile-like creature from the Cretaceous. When I visited Malawi last summer, we went on the river in a boat, a longboat, and that was very interesting because we met many hippos and also many crocodiles, but there was one crocodile in particular who was so large. I think he was more than 2 meters long, and it had this greenish-like color. It was resting on the banks of the other side of the river, luckily, because, well, it was so large. Of course, that one was not the largest in the world, because the largest in the world seems to have a size of 6.17 meters long. And then you have a story about a crocodile in Australia who has a size of 8.64 meters long. But, well, that hasn't been proven yet. And when I visited Australia last winter, I visited a man whose father was a missionary in Papua New Guinea. By the way, I like this logo of Primal Attack. Well, I was visiting this man whose father was a missionary, and he told a story about his father, which was very interesting. The interesting thing was, oh yeah, this is great. The interesting thing was that he told me this story about his father trying to reach a tribe somewhere in the rainforest of Papua New Guinea, in the forests somewhere, and they had to cross a river. And in this river were many crocodiles, and the engine of the boat was rolling, and they saw many crocodiles, and they were passing a big one. And this man said, "Wow, that's a big one." And then his guide said, "Oh, you haven't seen the bigger ones, the biggest ones." Okay, so, wow. And by the way, if the engine goes, they are afraid of it, they won't attack us. Good. So they went along, and then his father saw this crocodile so huge, bigger than the previous one. He said, "Whoa, is this the big one?" "Mm-hmm. It's a big one, yes, but there are bigger ones. And you know, the engine is still rolling." So they went on, and when they came to a certain spot, there was a large crocodile, almost as large as their boat, and this boat was the size of a Sarcosuchus imperator. And this crocodile almost had the same length. He said, "Is this the big one?" They said, "Yes, this is the big one, but the engine," and that's the point where the engine started to make some noise, and then it kind of stopped. So this father of this man that I know was in the boat, just ahead of them on the banks of the river was this large crocodile, almost as large as the boat itself. Went into the waters even, and the engine, of which those crocodiles were really afraid of, stopped. Well, he survived. So, could Sarcosuchus still be alive somewhere in the remote areas of the world? Perhaps it's the Lipata from Africa or the Mahamba. I guess we'll never know. This was Not a Park Egg, this time with the Mattel's Jurassic World Sarcosuchus of Primal Attack. Next time, another review. So for now, goodbye, stay safe at home, don't do anything stupid, and just pray that it might be over soon. I mean the coronavirus. Goodbye.